So we were talking about King of the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, King of the 80s. Like I was saying, the stuff we write is very tongue-in-cheek, self-deprecating. We may be victims, but we're probably to blame. So you get these bouncy choruses, and then halfway through the song it just stops and it goes away in a completely different tangent again. Maybe neo-prog.
Yeah.
It's got this sort of backbeat or a breakbeat that's quite reminiscent of the likes of Portishead, Massive Attack, Faithless, even with our very RTD-ish sounds underneath it, and I think it works really well. And it goes back. It's quite sentimental about the question we were asking, speaking about earlier. If you could go back, would you? And what's the point? Well, I think that's a lyric that part of the song you wrote the lyrics for, and I don't think we decide whether we're going to go back or not.
Well, it's like the 80s have come forward anyway, because I see a lot of fashions come back in.
Yeah.
Pencil jeans and long hair and high-tech boots.
Yeah,
Mullets.
Can't even grow my hair. Got a front mullet these days.
Careful.
Oh yeah, and that too. Yeah.
So we're quite fond about the 80s because a lot of the best music, well, not the best music, but a lot of good music was made then, and we dip in and out, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are guilty of that with your keyboards.
Yes. Plus the fact that they're old keyboards anyway, so
yeah, but
you get very 80s sounds on them.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I don't think it's completely 80s. I think there's a lot of relevance to what's going on out there.
Yeah, like that end section there. Yeah, it hints at like I said, the Massive Attack and stuff like
that.
But with the guitar, the old style keyboards and stuff like that, it's actually created a really, really hip happening sound. It's something that if people aren't making that kind of music these days, they should be.
Yeah, I think it's time for a return. I mean, because I would say, I don't know what your thoughts are, but there is a lot of stuff that's supposedly progressive. But yeah, I think you get progression everywhere in music, don't you? Yeah. Really, I mean, to me, one of the greatest progressive bands at the moment, and you may disagree with me, is Elbow. I think that is very progressive, what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that if you write a song and it doesn't go verse, chorus, or even the vocal tunes change throughout the verses, that's progressive.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't always go somewhere where you expect it to. It doesn't have to have a melody solo in 7/8, or a section where the drummer's playing in 9/8 and the rest of the band are playing in 18/4, and they only actually sync up every decade and a half. It doesn't have to happen like that. Sometimes it's good fun if it does, but that type of music lends itself to being too long. I would rather listen to an 8-minute piece of music that has got a short bit of what you would class old style prog, catchy chorus, great vocal hooks, and then it goes away in some sort of hip hop tip.
Yeah. I mean, we are guilty of the whole conceptual thing, which is sort of keyed into progression. We have got a concept behind this album.
Yep.
And you certainly did for the first album.
Yep. Well, certainly for the first album, because I didn't want to admit that it was about me. Because again, even though a lot of the lyrics were funny, and a lot of the a lot of the lyrics were tongue in cheek and self-berating. It was a hard album for me to write. It was cheaper than going to see a shrink, but it was hard.
And I always want to emphasise the point here, because I know you're not a religious man, and I certainly am not. Spiritual we are, maybe, but you chose the name Road to Damascus, and maybe there's a reason there?
Yeah, basically because I was reading something, and I can't remember what it was. I think I was quite immersed in novels about the Crusades at the time, but I heard something, probably a short interview with some musician or something on YouTube, and they spoke about something happening in their life that was a Road to Damascus moment. Obviously, they're referring back to this Saul of Tarsus getting converted on the road to Damascus, and I thought, that's good. And every song on that album is about not being converted. It's coming to realise something. It's coming to your senses. That's what I refer to the phrase "Road to Damascus" about. Is you come to your senses about something and make a change. And
because we've both had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone does, but
yeah,
probably more than most.
I don't know if I've been more than most. I tend, if something goes wrong for me, I tend not to speak about it. I tend to let things bottle up. And but even songs like Envy, that was tongue in cheek, but it was me going, I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm jealous of that guy that guy I didn't like at school, and I accidentally found him in Friends Reunited, and he is married to the model. He has got the Ferrari. You used to get these car stickers saying my second car's a Ferrari. Well, it is. And I'm thinking, bastard.
Still a cock. Excuse my French.
Yeah, and it's like, well, and my only retort is, your life's great. My life maybe isn't as good as yours, but at least I'm not you. And that's a funny way of having to come to terms with the fact that you are, you suffer from jealousy and envy, and the tagline being, I don't envy you, but I do really.
Well, fast forward to 2014. The name now, I mean, what's going on in the Middle East and Syria and that, what does that change how you feel about the name at all? I know it's not necessarily, we're not a political band, I know that, but we feel.
Yeah, the whole Middle East thing to me is so unavoidable. Well, I was going to say unavoidable. It's so avoidable.
Yeah.
The West only chooses to intervene when there's good reason to intervene.
Mm-hmm.
The best reason to intervene seems to be is oil. The West has not got involved in Syria simply because Syria doesn't export just an awful lot of raw product to us, whereas there's a huge pipeline runs through Afghanistan.
This is true.
And there's, you could set the oil fields alight in Kuwait and Iraq and leave them burning indefinitely, and they would still have loads of oil, and that's why we in the West get involved. I mean, certainly it didn't help when the Christian Crusaders went over there 1,000 years ago and beyond and tried to take over the Holy Land. That didn't help, but it's a region it's always been volatile.
Do you think? But I suppose. Do you think the name is not good at this time because of that, or does it have nothing to do with that still? Because we have attracted. I mean, I've certainly seen we've gathered in people on Twitter that are maybe based in Syria and Damascus or what have you, or Middle East, thinking that we were maybe a political organisation, and
or worse than that, some sort of religious.
Some religious. Well, we've had a lot of religious attention as well, and I've nothing against any religion or creed or whatever, but
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's our place. It's a saying.
Yeah. We have got a twin band in America, a young boy band, neo prog, whatever, called, what were they called? A Road to Damascus as well.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Yep. But if you go into Google or anything like that, and type in Road to Damascus. There's some pretty way out secular bands.
Yeah.
In the Midwest of the States, the Bible Belt.
Well, I suppose if you look at it, if you're one of the biggest prog bands, Genesis. So, what are we saying? But no, I was just interested in the sort of where you came about with the name. So, okay, we've rolled forward to 2014. We were talking about Precious Empires. We got the King of the 80s. What's up after that on the album? That will be the fourth track. Yeah, Great Spirits.
That's one of yours. Can't really talk about the lyrics other than the fact that I like them.
It's a bouncy song, a joyous song.
And again, it was the demo you sent me of that was very punky, almost like punky, grungy, and I didn't know what to do with it other than the fact that I knew it was going to have to slow down because it was. I chopped it. I made a loop out of half a verse and sort of loaded it into a sampler and sequencer and tried to figure out the speed of it. And it was coming out. It was about 170 beats per minute. It was crazy, and I thought I'm going to have to slow that down. And but I like the chord sequence, and I was just sitting there at the keyboard one night. I was completely lost for what to do, and I was actually just playing along with some songs. I was actually playing along with an album, playing along with Pink Floyd album or something on the keyboard.
That was a horse, if you wondered. It wasn't. I wasn't breaking wind.
And
although I might in a minute. Sorry.
I was just sitting there, and this little motif, this little riff came in. Do 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 do, and I went, oh. And that was it. I mean, it was literally, it was a Road to Damascus moment. That's a pun. No, but it was really that quick. I went, I like that. And I had the chord sequence which started, the chord sequence that you had, and I started playing the root notes to that with the left hand as I played this piece, and I thought, that's a song. I sat down there and then, and I programmed a drum track there and then. It took me about 10 minutes to program a drum track. Never ever worked so quickly. And within an hour, I had the song in place, and it just kicks.
It's bouncing.
Really kicks.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think for the life of me what it reminded me of, and it reminds me of a couple of things off the first album. But it wasn't until we played the demo of the whole album with Dave, and he went, "That's like the Who."
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, that the intro in particular sounds like a kind of thing that Keith Moon would play. So
there's definitely an element of the Who there, and in Halo somewhere. Not in Halo itself, but the second track. Angels. No, was it Angels or was it Get Up? Can't remember. I was having a
Get Up has got
an element of that. Yeah.
It's got a swagger and a sort of. I think particularly in the whistle section.
Yeah.
A bit where you whistle.
The whistles. Roger Whittaker, eat your hair.
Yeah.
So, while we're here talking about Dave, you've used his MIDI. Well, you recorded his drums for R2D2.
Yeah.
Dave White, fantastic drummer, and you used the samples to trigger for.
Once we'd actually done the recording, the takes for R2D2, I got him to do single hits on each drum we had, on every cymbal, and I was really quite anal about it. I got him to do, hit the right cymbal on the edge, hit it on the bell, hit it on the in the centre and stuff like that. And I got a real huge range of his drum sounds, and I catalogued them all and I edited them all. And basically, when I demo songs now, it's Dave's sound from R2D2 that I'm using, and it helps me a lot because it doesn't sound like one of those 80s Bon Tempies.
Yeah, yeah.
And it helps me to write drum parts that I can imagine a drummer playing.
And of course, hopefully, Mr. White's coming in to actually record live drums for us. So
He will be, and that's one of the reasons why the album. I was going to say the album's dragging, but it isn't. We're doing things slightly differently this time because, like I said earlier, we usually demo the whole album, then we get the drums done live, and then we rebuild.
yeah,
And this time, because Dave's been away and we know roughly when he's coming back, we can get. We've started. Well, the keyboards are finished; they're mastered. I'm working on the guitars just now. You're over recording your vocals. That'll probably nearly all be in place before Dave comes along, and he'll lay down his drums. And then after that, the only thing that probably needs to be brought in then is I'll probably have to rework the bass lines a wee bit, just so that I'm playing tight with Dave. So rather than him being at the bottom of the pie, he's going to be sort of,
yeah.
you know.
Because we are. I mean, we are a two-piece, really, aren't we? With a little bit of a three-piece when David comes in to do the drums, but we do essentially. We're a two-man writing machine type thing. We have had our share of different band members, and it's just not worked.
No, hasn't worked.
I mean, we had Mikey Bruce did the bass on R2D2 as well, and it was fantastic.
Known Mikey from
Yeah.
years, and he's been a fantastic bass player. His live work is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just so solid. Does his homework.
But I would say we found that by not having to work with folks, it's easier, isn't it? Keeping it in the in team.
I'm probably a bit of a control freak though.
No.
No, when I write something, I know how I want it to sound, and unless somebody's going to come in and improve what I want it to sound like, then what's the point?
Very true.
There is only two of us. We are to play live. There's reasons why we don't play live.
We'd love to.
I'd love to play live, but I mean, life.
We have a very busy
We're,
life, yeah.
You know, very, very busy, hectic sort of.
I don't think that lessens what we do. I think every album we put out is meant from the heart, and we've had good support. I mean, we've had people all over the world appreciating our stuff, and we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, and I don't think going out and playing live in pubs and clubs would necessarily do us any favours.
Well, there is
and I don't mean that in gaining following sort of way, but you know, you put a lot of work into a piece of music. You put a lot of work into rehearsing it and trying to put it across as real and as, you know, what's the word, rather than real. Well, you want it to be, to mean something, and at the end of the day, a lot of the places there aren't a lot of places in this part of the world that take in bands who are playing originals, and at the end of the day, bands are taken in to allow places to have late licenses, and the people who are booking you don't care whether you're playing Precious Emperors or whether you're playing Reet Petite, as long as somebody's buying a drink.
Exactly.
And they're still paying what they were paying 10, 15 years ago as well, which doesn't help.
Well, we both know people on the music scene who are doing solely covers, and it's even they are failing to.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I've got absolutely no problem with anyone playing covers. It isn't for me anymore. I've done it, and I got very, very, very little enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, me too.
I used to have this debate with my dad a long time ago. He would say, "Oh, you've got to get yourself into a working wedding dance band, or a working country and western band, or you know, some sort of function band to make money up here," and he couldn't understand it when I would just say, "Look, Dad, I'd rather lose a limb. I'd rather put my guitar in its case and never play it again." It isn't selfish, but yeah, you're there to entertain people. But if my first priority is to entertain me, and if I'm not enjoying a gig, I can guarantee you, people will know that I'm not enjoying a gig.
I mean, we've had a certain amount of criticism from people to say, "Oh, you don't gig enough," blah blah blah. Yeah, we don't. And as you say, I'm a bit similar to you. I don't like that lack of enjoyment. I really despise it when somebody says to me, "Can you play Motorhead Ace of Spades when I'm in the
Yes,
middle of a song I really love.
Yes, I can play Motorhead Ace of Spades.
I can also go and put it on the jukebox right now for you.
Yeah.
So we are quite cynical. We've been on the music scene for 20 plus years, and the scene here is dead, I'm afraid, to some degree, unless you go to the city, and we can't be bothered.
No, because it's all I don't know what it's all about.
Well, we're not that concerned about climbing a slippery slope anymore, I don't think, are we?
No, don't care. I really don't care if I don't play live. I would love to be in a position where, this is Thursday, I'd love to be in a position where we're loading the lorry just now and making sure the sheets are clean and heading up north or west coast or something like that and play for a weekend. But for what?
Well, yes, it. And the legacy is are the albums. So we.
But one day we shall.
We shall. Well, I think acoustically would be nice. Get out, or whatever,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one day we'll find. I think the stumbling block is finding a keyboard player. Keyboard players are very rare. Keyboard players, even up here, tend to be piano players, and to play keyboards in a rock band, you don't necessarily have to know a million notes or play grade 8 piano, but what you have to do is you have to immerse yourself in why a Hammond organ sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
You have to understand why John Lobb is brilliant. You have to understand why mellotrons are cool. Yeah, you have to understand all that kind of things, and you have to understand also dynamically that you don't need a left hand to be really busy, because you're only getting in the way of a bass guitar then.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you don't have to be great, but it helps.
You don't have to be gluten free either. But that's an in-joke. One thing you do need, though, and I think we'll all agree on that, is a gold lame cape.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, yeah. If you haven't got one, I can get one for you.
I've got one. I've got a gold lame leotard. Oh. Right, so we're very good at digressing. This is going to be a very long interview. Tell me about Rose Tinted.
Rose Tinted. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever sat down, and I did it out on the balcony, the veranda just behind us. I deliberately sat down the first couple of weeks of August last year to write a song. It's the first time I ever really just said, today I'm going to write something. And I sat there with my acoustic guitar looking for a chord sequence that was different, that I'd never used before, and got it pretty quickly actually. And I'd had the idea of just having a keyboard with suspended chords, it's a really up sort of drum beat, yet deliberately electronic percussion, like a loop, and have a drummer play along with it, and that was the attack in it. Simple bass line and really crisp, dancey up bass line, and a guitar that really, the guitar is just there to as a foil and as a reply to the vocal tune, real accompaniment to a vocal tune. Just the whole song is just about the vocal and the lyric, and the lyric is basically saying, we've been referring back to the struggle everyone's having with the recession and not being able to afford to do anything, and this was just a couple saying to each other, let's just forget it. Let's just spend what we've got left on a trip abroad, and even if it's only for 2 weeks, and we'll come back then that 2 weeks and we're bloody bankrupt, let's just do it. And that's what this is about. And it was an apology to Fiona, because I've been a miserable sod this last couple of years, and and the line in the song, there's one line in the song, one day I do believe we'll walk on the sunny side of the street, and that is, you know, me saying, give me time. Once we've got a bit of cash, we've all be going on holiday, we've all be doing the things we've always wanted to do. And then, obviously, I give you the song and you've changed bits and pieces, so that towards the end it's become very, very poignant. Especially, you know, with what happened with your family situation last week. I just think it's taken it to a different level completely. And the song's probably 8 minutes long.
It is, yeah.
And it's very, very simple. And I'd love to release it as a single, but you know, we're going to have to do a huge edit on it, and then probably edit it again to bring it into sort of a playable, you know, a playlist of
just 3 minute, yeah.
It's got this massive middle section about, you know, it's almost like Summer of Love 67 all over again, you know. Where, you know, I'm not saying, you know, let's all be hippies and wear flowers in our hair. I'm just saying let's chill.
Yeah. Life is too short, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, that's Robin.
Hey Robin.
She's gone. So yeah, rose tinted. 3 chords, maybe 4, but a couple of key changes. So it's just a really, really nice, easy-going piece of music, and although different from anything else we've ever done, also very similar, because it's got that sort of feel that one or two of the single kind of tracks had on R2D2. But I think folk love this.
Yeah.
I thought the first demo we made of it, I thought, oh, this is something really special that even though no one ever hears it again, I've got it, I like it. And there isn't many songs that I would quite happily keep to myself. But no, I want people to hear this.
I have to say it's a very strong album for tunes, and that's very biased. All the songs up to this point are set in the scene for the. Although we've not quite got there because we've got Cat and Mouse next, I think it is.
No, Emperor's Fallen.
Emperor's Fallen, and then Cat and Mouse, is it? And then you get the trilogy, and it is. We'll get to it, but it's set in the scene, and I don't know how we managed to do it, but this is part of the concept idea. It's setting the scene for this main piece of songs that's coming up, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting how it's worked out. Who knows how the mind works?
Yeah. I think everything we've done since album 1 has been a series of happy accidents, really.
Definitely. Certainly not an act of genius, or maybe it is. Einstein.
But yeah, Rose Tinted was, it was the first. It was the first thing I started to play after a serious bout of tennis elbow that sort of ground the last line bar of RTE to a halt.
But it was following your win at Wimbledon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a fantastic athlete.
You can play air guitar on a racket.
Yeah.
Sorry, go carry on.
Aye, so I mean, I spent probably from May to beginning of August last year not being able to play my guitar at all. Couldn't even grip the neck, and that forced me to think of different ways of writing, and that led me on to Emperor's Fallen, which was just an angry song about nothing, about absolutely nothing and everything at the same time. And I was wanting to write music, but I couldn't play, so I actually made a conscious effort to sit down and construct something out of samples and weird noises, and try and make something. Again, I thought maybe Massive Attack-y, or it came out. The first 3 minutes of Emperor's Fallen has come out sounding a cross between Rhythm of the Heat by Peter Gabriel, or Mama by Genesis. That sort of feel.
There's a bit of Faith No More in there as well. Mike Patton.
Yeah, it bursts into this amazing riff. It's such a simple riff, but it's and heavy. But yeah, with this slab of keyboard behind it, it reminded me first time I played it, Faith No More. And I have to say, I've only got one or two of their albums, and probably haven't listened to any Faith No More for 15 years. And I went, ooh, maybe that's a wee bit too much, but no, I don't think it is.
It's hard not to compare. I think everyone compares these days, but a lot of stuff has been done, so you're picking from the palette, aren't you, really?
So lyrically, Empire's Fallen was just about, coming to realise that the things you hope for when you're a teenager and the things you dream about when you're a teenager don't always happen, and there's loads of reasons for that. And it's just an angry song about life and old age, life and middle age catching up with you, and in this growing sense that no matter what you do, you're going to be abandoned to your fate by everything you put your faith in the first place. Whether you put your faith in the state, whether you put your faith in the church, whatever you put your faith in, at the end of the day there's a reckoning, and you find that you're standing alone, and you've made your bed, you've got to lie in it, and that's what that's about. It's an angry song about being angry. It's an angry song about, I'm angry about the fact that I'm angry, and not knowing what I'm angry about angers me. And it's just this vicious
I'm with you there, brother.
Vicious circle. It's a fantastic piece of music. It's 9 minutes long, and it really
it's got a good feel, I have to say.
It's after this 3 minute of sort of building, this pulsing thing building up, it just explodes into this piece of heavy rock. The choruses come right back down to almost mellow, playing's reticent. It's just really nice. Got a couple of chord sequences in there, especially over the guitar solo that I've never really used before. That sort of,